Hagrid was a good 7 or 8 feet tall, judging by the apple tree beside him. But his face was beardless, young, round, and smooth. He looked hardly older than 11. That was taken just before I got into Hogwarts, Hagrid croaked. Dad was dead chuffed. Thought I might not be a wizard, see? 'Cause me mum. Well, anyway, course, I never was great shakes at magic, really. But at least he never saw me expelled. Died, see, in me second year. Dumbledore was the one who stuck up. Oh, sorry. Dumbledore was the one who stuck up for me after Dad went. Got me a gamekeeper job. Trusts people, he does. Gives them second chances. That's what sets him apart from the other heads, see. He'll accept anyone at Hogwarts, so long as they've got talent. Knows people can turn out okay if their families weren't. Well, all that respectable. But some don't understand that. There's some who'd always hold it against you. There's some who'd even pretend they just had big bones rather than stand up and say, I am what I am, and I'm not ashamed. Never be ashamed, me old dad used to say. There's some who'll hold it against you, but they're not worth bothering with. And he was right. I've been an idiot. I'm not bothering with her no more. I promise you that, big bones. I'll give her big bones. Harry, Ron, and Hermione looked at one another nervously. Harry would rather have taken 50 blast-ended Scroots for a walk than admit to Hagrid that he had overheard him talking to Madame Maxime. But Hagrid was still talking, apparently unaware that he had said anything odd. I found this coffee cup in the cupboard above my desk, so I washed it out. And I've been drinking out of it. You know what, Harry? He said, looking up from the photograph of his father, his eyes very bright. When I first met you, you reminded me a bit of me. You reminded me of me a bit. Okay. You reminded me of me a bit. Mom and Dad gone, and you was a feeling like you wouldn't fit in at Hogwarts, remember? Not sure you were really up to it. And now look at you. Harry, a school champion? He looked at Harry for a moment and then said very seriously, You know what I love, Harry? I'd love you to win. I really would. It'd show 'em all. You don't have to be a pureblood to do it. You don't have to be ashamed of what you are. I'd show 'em. It'd show 'em Dumbledore's the one who's right, letting anyone in as long as they can do magic. How you doing with that egg, Harry? Great. Really great, said Harry. Hagrid's miserable face broke into a wide, watery smile. That's my boy. You show 'em, Harry. You show 'em. Beat 'em all. Lying to Hagrid wasn't quite like lying to anyone else. Harry went back to the castle after that afternoon with Ron and Hermione, unable to banish the image of the happy expression on Hagrid's whiskery face as he had imagined Harry winning the tournament. The incomprehensible egg weighed more heavily than ever on Harry's conscience that evening, and by the time he had got into bed, he had made up his mind it was time to shelf his pride and see if Cedric's hint was worth anything. And that is the end of chapter 24. Now we are on to chapter 25. You see it there? Chapter 25, The Egg and the eye. Huh? Oh, you want me to keep reading? Oh, all right. Just a little bit. As Harry had no idea how long a bath he would need to work out the secret of the golden egg, he decided to do it at night, when he would be able to take as much time as he wanted. Reluctant though he was to accept more favors from Cedric, he also decided to use the prefect's bathroom. Far fewer people were allowed in there, so it was much less likely that he would be disturbed. Okay, that's the first paragraph of the chapter. In the next chapter. So we'll just put the bookmark in here and oh, ha 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 ha, hey. Yep, there's still more time. Okay, I'll keep reading. Harry planned his excursion carefully because he had been caught out of bed and out of bounds by Filch the caretaker in the middle of the night once before, and had no desire to repeat that experience. The invisibility cloak would, of course, be essential, and as an added precaution, Harry thought he would take the Marauder's map, which, next to the cloak, was the most useful aid to rule-breaking Harry owned. The map showed the whole of Hogwarts, including its many shortcuts and secret passages. And most important of all, it revealed the people inside the castle as minuscule labeled dots moving around the corridors so that Harry would be forewarned if somebody was approaching the bathroom. On Thursday night, Harry sneaked up to bed, put on the cloak, crept back downstairs, and just as he had done on the night when Hagrid had shown him the dragons, waited for the portrait hole to open. This time it was Ron who waited outside to give the fat lady the password. Banana fritters. Good luck, Ron muttered, climbing into the room as Harry crept out past him. It was awkward moving under the cloak tonight because Harry had the heavy egg under one arm and the map held in front of his nose with the other. However, the moonlit corridors were empty and silent, and by checking the map at strategic intervals, Harry was able to ensure that he wouldn't run into anyone he wanted to avoid. When he reached the statue of Boris the Bewildered, a lost-looking wizard with his gloves on the wrong hands, he located the right door, leaned close to it, and muttered the word, "Pine fresh," just as Cedric had told him. The door creaked open. Harry slid inside, bolted the door behind him, and pulled off the invisibility cloak, looking around. His immediate reaction was that it would be worth becoming a prefect just to be able to use this bathroom. It was softly lit by a splendid candle-filled chandelier, and everything was made of white marble, including what looked like an empty rectangular swimming pool sunk into the middle of the floor. About 100 golden taps stood all around the pool's edges, each with a different colored jewel set into the handle. There was also a diving board. Long white linen curtains hung at the windows. A large pile of fluffy white towels sat in a corner, and there was a single golden framed painting on the wall. It featured a blonde mermaid who was fast asleep on a rock, her long hair over her face. It fluttered every time she snored. Harry moved forward, looking around, his footsteps echoing off the walls. Magnificent though the bathroom was, and quite keen though he was to try out a few of those taps, now he was here, he couldn't quite suppress the feeling that Cedric might have been having on him. How on earth was this supposed to help solve the mystery of the egg? Nevertheless, he put one of the fluffy towels, the cloak, the map, and the egg at the side of the swimming pool-sized bathtub, then knelt down and turned on a few of the taps. Now, we are done reading for real, because that is Diez Minutos. Finally, we might find out what this egg thing is all about.